This is extremely good news for Warriors fans. Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler putting in work together in the offseason as we are just about 50 days away from the beginning of the 2025-2026 NBA season. An E10 signing as well to boost the Warriors' depth as the Kuminga drama continues to slowly topple on. And Steph Curry, of course, looking to capture that elusive fifth championship. What's going on, everybody? I'm Houston Bo, right here on Warriors Digest. And before we get into all the NBA content, specifically within the Warriors world, around 2/3 of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed. Super simple. Go down, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to turn notifications on. We've got so much exciting content as the Warriors season approaches, and we want to make sure that none of you guys ever miss out on any content. Make sure to subscribe and get ready as this season gets really, really close. Leaves start to turn. If you're a Midwestern or Warriors fan like me, you start to feel that little, chill breeze in the air. For a lot of people, that means college football NFL season is starting. For me, that means the NBA season is approaching. Around 50 days, month and a half until the start of the NBA season. I believe October 21st is when things kick off. And what else could you want from your veterans in this league than to be putting in work in the offseason? We've got Steph Curry playing in golf tournaments all around the world. He's still finding time to interact with fans and shoot deep three balls from the tee box and make it. Draymond and Jimmy, despite being veterans in the league for a long time, continuing to work on their craft and improve on the things that they need to improve on. Draymond, a guy who still doesn't shoot it super consistently from three. He's gotten better as his career's gone on, but putting in work now with Jimmy. I mean, these are two dogs. These are two guys in the NBA that have been around for a long time, two really vocal personalities in the locker room. Not entirely sure how that's going to work out. A lot of the time it doesn't work out, but you love to see the camaraderie of these guys continuing to build. Jimmy, only here for about a fourth of the season last year. When he was here, really, really good consistency and development from the franchise as a whole. About 22-5, I believe, to end the year for the Warriors. And that is something that led them into the playoffs, gave them the confidence to go in and beat the Rockets in that first round. Who knows if what happens if Steph doesn't get hurt in that second series? You watched that first game against the Timberwolves before Steph was injured, and you kind of thought to yourself, man, this looks easy for Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler had to put on the team on his back a little bit in those remaining games, and ultimately it just didn't work out, and it's frustrating. But you get to this point in the offseason and you start to have revenge, redemption. Some of those things start to, those thoughts start to fill your mind, and then you see things like this, and that's really encouraging to see these guys putting in the work. Because, again, you don't know exactly what an entire year with Jimmy Butler is going to look like. This is a really good Warriors team before Jimmy got here. I mean, maybe you'd say mediocre, but the potential was there, and you had guys that were continuing to show steady development. And then Jimmy joins the roster, and all of a sudden, okay, this boost of energy, this boost of confidence. I mean, Jimmy's a guy that he doesn't believe he should ever lose, whether it's dominoes or basketball, making coffee. It doesn't matter if Jimmy Butler's involved. He wants to win, and that was very evident once he joined the Warriors last season. And I think it's only going to continue to be evident as the camaraderie with the team grows. Training camp kicks off here pretty soon, and all of a sudden a month and a half flies by, and here we go. It's October, and it's time to go, and we'll look at the schedule here soon to see what October looks like for the Warriors. A Christmas Day game as well, which you got to be excited about. I mean, but this is just something that you have to be encouraged by. Two of your best players on the team putting in work together, figuring out exactly what it looks like to mesh in a unit like this, especially in a time right now where the Kuminga drama continues to topple on. You have no idea if he's going to sign. Melton, Horford, all that stuff. Is that going to get figured out? You just don't know. But one thing you can control is two of your veterans getting into the workout room, getting into the gym, and finding ways to improve on your craft. Another exciting thing, as we look at the stats here real quick before we move on to Taevion Kinsey. I mean, Jimmy went 17-5-5 and shot it pretty well. And Draymond, same thing, shot it pretty well. He's had one season where he was pretty close to 40% from three, but last season shot it pretty well as well, about 9-6-5, about 2.5 stocks per game, shot it well from three for the most part, around 32%. And so as these guys put in the work, they talk to each other, they say, okay, here are the things that we need to work on to ensure that our team is ready to go, come next April when it's really time to dig your heels in and make things happen. But the Warriors this year are saying to themselves, let's make it a little easier on ourselves. Started out 12-3 last season and then had a really rough stretch of games through November and December. You want to find a way to be consistent throughout the year. Both these guys clearly putting in the work to be excited about what this season has the potential to be. Next up, Golden State Warriors signed Taevion Kinsey to a 10-day potential to move it into a 2-way contract, who he was with in the Utah Jazz back in 2024, was with the Salt Lake City Stars last season as well. Averaged around 12 points a game, 3 to 4 rebounds, a couple of assists on pretty efficient shooting, or averaged around 51% actually from the three-point line. And he also was signed to, or selected, I should say, for the NBA G League United team in the 2025 FIBA Intercontinental Cup. Coming up very soon in September. And Kinsey's a guy from Marshall, averaged around 17 points a game in college, 22 points per game his senior year. It feels like the sky is the limit for this guy. He's sort of similar to Kuminga, super athletic, a better shooter naturally than Kuminga is. Threw down 360 dunks in college off the backboard. Like, this guy has the potential. Former All-Sunbelt honors, Sunbelt Conference Player of the Year as well. He's got the potential to be someone who maybe gets some minutes early in Santa Cruz with the Warriors G League team, and then as he continues to develop, becomes a guy, all of a sudden, maybe with his shooting ability, especially if the drama around Kuminga and all that stuff, that dust hasn't quite settled, he's a guy that could come in and maybe contribute for the Warriors this year, and I'm excited to see just exactly what that looks like for a guy in Taevion Kinsey. Went undrafted, had a good college career, spent about a year or two kind of floating around the G League with the Jazz, and now he's saying, okay, I signed to a really good franchise with the potential to be really solid this year. Let's see what I can do in the G League and see if I can potentially earn some minutes in the ultimately in the NBA, because he still has never played his first NBA game. Warriors, as we've talked about, have seen this headline about 1,000 times in the past 3 weeks from Jake Fisher. Expected to sign Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Gary Payton II, and a second-round pick in Will Richard in the draft earlier this year. These signings, of course, are anticipated to come following resolution on the Jonathan Kuminga front. This is the thing that we've been hearing for basically months at this point. Jonathan Kuminga, excellent young player, hasn't won championship with the Warriors, though he didn't really contribute a whole lot. And now he feels like we've stunted his growth a little bit. He feels like, okay, the Warriors aren't contributing as much to me as I'm contributing to them. I look at a guy like Jonathan Kuminga and I go, hold on, have a little bit of patience to just stick with the roster, stick with the franchise a little bit longer. He has the potential to be the star of this franchise. He's still so young. Give it a little bit longer, and all of a sudden you look at being the star of this franchise. As much as I want to pretend Steph's going to play into his 50s, he's probably got 2 to 4 years of legitimate consistency and actual contribution to this Warriors team. I mean, if you talk to him, he'd probably tell you he could play at least 50. But I look at Kuminga and I say, okay, hold on a little bit longer, and I think you'll surprise yourself at what you can actually be for this team. 15, 4, and 2 last year. Shot it okay from three-point range, not as consistently as you'd want him to. But I think if he can hold on a couple more years, I know he doesn't want to do that. I know if you talk to Kuminga right now, he'd say, I want to go be the star of a franchise right now. From my perspective, I say, hold on, work with Jimmy and Draymond and Steph and Pods, and potentially take $2 to $3 million less on your contract to ensure that Horford and Melton and GP2 can be signed. Think about what this team could be this season. And then we'll think about giving you the reins, be the franchise guy moving forward. I genuinely believe that Kuminga is humble enough to accept that position. He's done it in the past. I do think he's getting tired of being in this uncomfortable position of like being a role player, getting 15 to 20 minutes a night, but then all of a sudden we call on him and he's expected to just carry the load on any given evening. Like, that's not easy. I understand the frustration from his standpoint there. I still just think not everybody gets the opportunity to play with a guy like Steph Curry for your entire career. I don't know if Draymond's rubbed in the wrong way. I don't know if Jimmy Butler coming in and pretty much playing the same role as him, being a dominant scorer on the ball, has rubbed him the wrong way. I understand all those things probably contribute a little bit to him wanting out of Golden State. But I look at him, and if Jonathan Kuminga was looking at me right now, I'd say, Johnny, just close your eyes. Hold on for a couple more years, win another championship with the Warriors, get Steph and Dre their fifth, get Jimmy his first, and then all of a sudden, you're 26, 27, 28, and you're the star of the franchise because you held on a little bit longer, you showed loyalty to the team, and all of a sudden, it's your franchise. We'll run with you. You got the athleticism. Maybe the shooting comes along in the next couple of years. All those things have the potential to turn into a great position for Jonathan Kuminga, but I think there's a little bit of that young, youth-filled angst where he's going, okay, I've sat here. I've waited. You've changed my role time and time again. You haven't given me the keys. Even though Steph's here, I want that on another team. And I understand the frustration, but I still just wish he'd hold on for a little bit longer because I think the potential is limitless with this roster. Golden State Warriors 2025-2026 season calendar dropped. And first of all, what a clean picture here that we've got of exactly what the season is going to look like. I tell you what, I'm excited. I can't look at a calendar drop at the beginning of the season and not be excited regardless of what it's going to look like. But I really get excited because I look at the potential of what this team could do that previous Warriors teams haven't done. It's the first full season we've got with JB. It's the first full season of truly, if Kuminga signs, it's the first full season that maybe we'd have with Melton if you can avoid the injury bug. We sign another veteran big in Horford that's an outside shooter. Quinten Post comes along. Pod's the third year, continuing to draw charges, play hard. All of a sudden, Guy Santos is hitting threes. Like, this team, I truly think from a development standpoint, could get to a point this season where they can be fighting for the 1, 2, 3 seed, even in a stacked West. I truly think a full offseason with Jimmy, Dre, and Steph building that camaraderie has the potential to be incredibly special, and all of it going to come to fruition in a big Christmas Day game on Thursday, December 25th, of course, where we're going to take on the new look Mavericks with Kyrie, AD, Cooper Flag, and then, of course, Klay Thompson. You know, anytime that you're going to see a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson matchup, if you would have told that to me 5 years ago, I would have laughed in your face and said, Klay's never leaving. I still can't really believe that he left. But that's going to be an incredibly important game. Make a statement. You'd like to think that the Warriors would be 3 seed or lower at that point in the year with the potential that this roster has, especially if we sign guys like Melton, like Horford, like GP2 to bring him back and bring his athleticism and better shooting recently into the game. So much to look forward to. I hope that Kuminga stuff gets figured out because I love watching Jonathan Kuminga play. He has moments throughout his career that his highlight reel already in whatever, his 6th whatever season is incredible. Like, he has one of the best early, it rivals legitimately Anthony Edwards' highlight package so far in his career. Some ridiculous dunks, getting to continue to develop. His 3 ball's getting better. I think if he can just hold on a little bit longer, there's so much potential for what this team can be. I'd love, even though a lot of people maybe don't necessarily like the Draymond at the 5 lineup, I'd love to see a Steph, Melton, Kuminga, Jimmy, Dre lineup, and then maybe you have Horford start, but then does that kick Kuminga out of the lineup? There's just so much to consider with this team, but the potential is limitless. And we're going to cover it all right here on Warriors Digest throughout the season. Make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, turn the notifications on, do everything that you can to be ensured that you are fully ready for this Warriors season. The offseason has been incredible. Even though no real major moves have happened for the Warriors, you can feel the excitement start to build when you see Jimmy and Dre work out together. And all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, we only got 6 more weeks until Warriors basketball. Yeah, I think I'm going to be okay. It's time to go. Let's go. So, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've been Houston Bo. You guys have been the fans. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.